There you go, from the official ABT vehicle, labelled BREAM. Don't know how gay that is, probably fairly up there for you Barra and Bass guys. Stop shaking your head, Nicole. Tackle Fridays, haven't got a whole lot of tackle stuff to show you today because we have been on the road to the first road trips down in Victoria. We have the first 2 rounds of the Daiwa BREAM series, sponsored by Duo and then Humminbird. But I thought I'll show you how tight this thing is packed at the moment because we're trying to fit 2 tournaments and all of my stuff and all the Nicole stuff into this one vehicle. I reckon we sort of got it pretty much spot on, apart from the 4 boxes of stuff that I had to give to Jamie McEwen. If you see Jamie on the road, just quietly, he's got all the prizes for both of the events, all of the Duo swag, and all of the X-Braid bonuses for the non-boater that you guys will all find out about when it comes to the tournament. But I did put a video up just a little bit before about the rig sitting in front of Fishing Monthly's magazine. This here is a Mercedes X-Class that I got for an absolute steal when COVID was on. It's done nearly 200,000 kilometres now, and touch wood, it's been a pretty good tow vehicle. So I have had to put some additions on it though for this trip. Not driving the van because someone's got too short of legs to drive the van and maybe can't drive a manual. Don't know really, that might be a cat out of the bag. But we did fit it all in this car here. So I've got one of these rooftop luggage boxes that I've put all of the tent tops are in there, some cable ramps, a couple of chairs, all the bits and pieces that didn't fit anywhere else fit up there. Now, one thing I learned with these things, got to tie all the stuff down. So I've got the straps across the top and I've tied it all down so it doesn't move on the inside. Rained pretty hard on the way down today, so hopefully that's fairly waterproof. When you come into the inside of the vehicle here, we keep it pretty uncluttered in the front. Bit of beef jerky there is some essential road tripping snacks. Got the big screen in there with the mapping and all of the, tell us how far we got left to drive. In the back, check this out. Go and have a look at that, Nicole. You know what that is. That is the world's biggest mobile phone. That is like a 50-inch Android-powered monitor that we're going to have at both of these app events in Victoria to run the live scoreboard so that when you're standing in line or getting your scores checked, you can actually see a live scoreboard. I really miss the days with the old click-clack boards where you can go and look at the scoreboard. We are working on making it better in a digital version for the year 2025. So this has got wheels on it. I think they're designed for restaurant menus, but we have going to design, or Nicole is going to get it retrofitted for ABT scoreboards. Have a look in the back here. She is running fairly tight at the moment. There are the winner's checks sitting in there. Some 240 volt power, printers, a Starlink, some extension cords. There are all the folders there that we're going to use for the app tournaments with the pencils and pens. There's a PA system, there's tag boards, there's banners, there's pegs, there's all sorts of stuff in here, including an admin box full of Pre-Fish Princess badges. Pete Brukel, we expect you to win them. I should give you all a dozen of them at the start of the year, and then we can just count them off as we go through. I love a hard top, not a canopy. I've never had a canopy on a ute that has been totally waterproof. This thing has been pretty good. I know you'll all say, oh, my canopy's waterproof. Well, the 2 I've had have been rubbish. So I've got that thing on there now. The boat, we did a lot of work of this on the off season. I've told you about the yacht armour before. It's looking pretty good. It'll just take one little wipe over that and it'll be looking mint again. But there are a few things that I've put on here that I think are going to be a real addition. First one here, this is for my forward-facing sonar. This here, have a look at that in close. That is a pointer, and you'll notice that I've got it covered in glow-in-the-dark tape. I actually use this a lot for barramundi when I'm seeing which way the fish are. If they're straight in front of the sounder, I used to have just a bit of tape on the top of the power pole move. Now I've got this custom 3D printed thing which you can pack away for travelling, but bang, that shows me you can cast down the barrel if that fish is straight down the front of your forward-facing sonar. So the move's all set up, and in the same shipment I got in, these are both from DD26 in the USA, I got these cable attachments. So it's really important to look after your live scope cables and your forward-facing sonar cables. You can't put your zip ties on them and zip them up really tight because it'll damage the cables on the inside. Inside those cables, there's around 20 to 25 really, really fine wires. They're all insulated. They're all sheathed with like a metallic material in between. I know because I've drilled through one of them before. Haven't we, Tommy Wood? But what this does is this actually isolates the cable and the zip ties actually run underneath. So it's held in its own little sort of rubber nest and you're able to slide them while they're on there. In the very near future, I'll be getting a Humminbird Mega Live 2 as well and have 2 lots of cables going up there. So it's important for me to have a system where I can look after those cables and away we go. Now, talking of that Mega Live 2, that'll be powered by a 13-inch Apex, and I'm going to swap out the 12-inch Helix for one of those Apexes. Hopefully by the time the Humminbird event happens, and then I can show you what's happening on my Humminbird on my live stream. I can already embed the Garmin in there, but a lot of people ask questions about the Humminbird Mega Live 2. Well, you can see some of that for yourself. If I get that system done in time for the Humminbird event, great. If not, you'll see it at some stage later this year. I want to jump in the boat and show you some of the other things that are going on, but first, have a look in there. There's all the frames for the tents down there. That's about the only place they can fit. Sometimes they may have gone on the roof racks, but we've got no room there anymore. And while we're going through, we'll have a little intermission. I'll show you something that turned up from Daiwa, not necessarily from these events, but I've actually got some of their monster cranks. Now these little in-feet lures, I think are more of a bass lure than a bream lure, but I'm really looking forward to throwing these because I love throwing crankbaits that you can cast a long way, and these things feel really awesome. They're like a spike that you've really left in the sun on your dashboard. The bib's only slightly wider, but the body is a whole lot wider than a typical Daiwa spike. It's going to cast for miles, and Braden from Daiwa tells me these things get down 10 or 11 feet pretty easily on straight through fluorocarbon. So come bass season or come any time I want to crank that sort of 8 to 12 foot mark, these are going to really hit the spot. So I've got a few of them in Daiwa's little care package. I've got some other stuff too that were a bit secret from Daiwa, and I can't show you yet, but you will see that in the next few months, I'm sure. Just have a look through what we've actually got packed in here as well. I might have to grab that camera, Nicole, if you find it difficult, but let's have a look in here first. Do you want to pass that across? There is a hatch there full of bream tackle. I've got spare line there in those white boxes. I've got all my boxes labelled, so what's on the inside. So that's the core of my bream lures, and that includes a box of musses here and a box of cranker crabs there. Don't read that faulty sign. The crabs aren't faulty. What was in it before was faulty. So that's the guts of my bream lures there. If I look on this side here, let's open this one up here. I've got one of my ABT compliant Environets there. I've got some light poles, but in there there's Grayson Fong's rod, there's Builder Mix rods, there's prize rods, there's the Samurai Reaction prize rods, there's an umbrella somewhere in there, and all of the bits and pieces that I need for fishing rod style. But that's not all the fishing rods I've got, of course. I've got some more rods sitting in here, and here is the nucleus of the bream arsenal in there. So mainly in-feets, that's Nicole's Miller rods there. She wants to catch her Rapala Trophy Hunter's bream, this one. I travel with them, I don't mind travelling with them all rigged up so long as I have them in rod sleeves. So there's a variety of rod sleeves there, stop them from banging against each other. And the other one here, let's have a look at the front. This is normally where my life jackets go, in this front hatch, but there's some more lures to try there, bits and pieces. Last year's bream lures that I still haven't sorted out yet, some soft plastics, etc, etc. So that's what the boat looks like. She's looking nice and clean travelling. And there we go. In the back, I'll just run through what's in the back at the moment. Oh, here's the new seat boxes in. That's the new console in the middle. Got a couple of cables in there, but my mobile phone will be in there. I've got the length weight app table in there. Drink holders don't hold water now. That's going to be grouse, and it's got a really good holy shit bar for the non-boater, because these ones always fall off instantly in bass cats. So non-boater's got something to hold on to now. Live wells, don't need them for this event. But in here, there's all my chargers and gear there, some spare towels. Got a buck and bass suit sitting under there, and also a jump starter. And this side, behind the driver's seat, a few more spare towels, fire extinguisher, flares, all the safety gear, and a first aid kit. So that's what sits in the boat. At the back, I've got my Merc cover on, because on the way home, this 200 Mercury V8 is going to stay at Manning River Marine. It's going to go and live on Cromo's boat for the rest of its days. I'm getting a new one on the back, just same motor, fewer hours. I think Cromo's motor's going to Joey Allen. Joey Allen's motor's going to Todd Riches. So it'll be a 4-motor swap happening through that process there. But boat itself looking great, car looking great. Nicole trying to jump out of the road. I'm trying to jump out of the boat. I did all the things we should do on the way down. Check that the bearings aren't getting hot. Make sure everything's tied down nice and tight. Got the DD26 motor toter on there. Got the steering stops on there. It's all sitting really tight and ready to go. We're going to get to Victoria in another sort of day and a half, ready to smash a few bream.